Hello, everybody. I finished my World Forum here today, 2 hours. Very exhausting. I'm going to let people log on and get into that. Also, as well, I had an Angus Reid poll sent to me, and of course, I always click on those depending on what they're about, and I try to participate. But this one was on COVID-19, and I'm going to get into that. Pretty crazy. I'm going to talk about that poll, what the government's putting out there. It's pretty outrageous. So, first thing we're going to get into, as I see people are starting to log on, first thing we're going to start with is my World Forum, how well that went. It was extremely awesome. I actually got to be a group leader, and it's funny because some of those people are pretty well to do in this world, and the one representative from Mexico who's definitely way above me in the world of things. He nominated me to be the spokesman for the group, so I got to speak for a bunch of countries. Unfortunately, Kenya was in my group too, from Africa, and of course I was soliciting for African nations. So she's in there, and I didn't know how that works. Everything moves so fast, everybody, and I'm not, I'm not used to this kind of sitting, and I didn't know she was even there, so I kind of used up all her time with everybody else, and then she's there, and she only had a few minutes. She didn't finish, so I apologized publicly out to the entire World Forum with her name and said, look, I'm sorry. Of course, she provided me a whole bunch of links. So I have more email contacts from all over the world. It's amazing. I got an answer for Alberta on independence and doing any kind of constitutional reform here in Canada. So you all know Alberta separatists and any of these parties championing federal reforms. This is the best of the best in the world. And the answer was very clear. Meech Lake Accord was brought up. I tagged you, Josh Toy, because you just emailed me on a Rebel News format. I actually had, I'm going to say, Pierre Fauché. This is the only person I'm going to talk about from that forum, and I don't really even have his permission to use his name. I haven't asked for that. All I'm going to say is that is Canada's expert on the Meech Lake Accord. That document you sent me, absolutely 100% false. And Pierre Fauché is still alive today. He happened to be in that Canadian forum, or for Canada, the Canadian side, in that forum with me. He wasn't in my group, but he spoke publicly. He heard everything I talked about, and vice versa. I heard everything he talked about. So it's 100% fake news that the rebel media is putting out in regards to that Chinese document. Not real at all. Governments don't leak out documents like that, half blacked out, half not blacked out. That should be the trigger right there that it's fake. That these are these bombs I'm talking about that propagandists throw into people's agendas or movements or ideas and concepts to actually explode them. And I'm going to really work hard to make sure that any narrative of independence going forward is never going to get usurped by the big exploding bombs that are going to be put on by both conservatives and liberals alike, NDP as well, as we're all seeing in the province of Alberta by none other than Rachel Notley. But everybody, so that forum was excellent. We are never going to see any kind of constitutional changes in Canada to get an Alberta narrative going. Absolutely never. It's almost virtually impossible. This is world experts in studies of constitutions. We're better off building our constitution here in Alberta as an Alberta independent nation. These people that champion federal reforms of the Constitution for a fair deal, or champion a lot of autonomy, especially into tax law, world's best of the best from all over the world. I'm not saying it was all 193 nations, but there must have been at least 60 there of people who are a lot provenly smarter than myself, who have actual academic standings or real government positions of power in the very, very diverse political spectrum that's on this earth today. Some of those civil law socialists, some republics, the list goes on and on. And I was given some tremendous time to talk to some very, very affluent and really high scholar, high government position people right around the world. And I got that time, a real blessing for me. I've really moved up in the narrative, and I got to share out the problems, at least just a couple. I know it sounds funny. Even in 15 minutes, I could barely get through just two topics, and that's being quick, having it all articulated out, written out beforehand. It's just that hard as you go back and forth. You have to be really fast, really moving with your ideas, because literally hundreds of them are getting presented every few minutes, so you got to be quick and snappy. And, you all follow me. I'm not too quick and snappy. Like I am on a debate, but not on presenting in well articulated, in that kind of format with people who are high thinkers. They move quick. They just go, go, go. Especially when you get into like doctorates and stuff like that. That's who I'm hanging out with here. And it's pretty tough to be that fast, that moving forward. But I did get it out there. I think I shocked a number of really high academic standing people throughout this world in many nations. I gave them a little taste of the problems we have here in Canada, what the region of Alberta is going through. The first time ever, I guarantee you that. And yes, Pierre Fauché was there. Yes, he's in high academic standing in Ottawa. He didn't give me any gears, and they did answer questions. He had his group of world experts with him in his group. I had mine, and it was awesome. Just so Albertans know, it was really awesome. I hope that's not the last. I'm sure it's just the first of many more I'm going to get to do. And I got the narrative out there. I got at least the narrative I wanted to share about the crown power, the abuse of it, what I'm working on here, and I asked for a lot of help. And you know what? India and Africa, not every nation in Africa, like I said, but I got 3 so far that have responded back and giving me a lot of detail analysis. India, 2 representatives in India, which is a very, very large country, getting back to me on that. And I put it out there for the UNSC, the Binding 5, having a Security Council seat, what that means to both Pan-Africa and, of course, India as a nation. And I didn't get everything I wanted, everybody. I didn't. And you think 2 hours, I should have been able to do that. But everybody's pumping their stuff out. I have literally 350 screenshots. Imagine you're talking back and forth, and then you're trying to screenshot everybody else. It just moves so fast. Like, I am wore right out mentally. It took a big amount of energy for me today. I'm weakened to say the least, and you got to be quick. I got pages and pages of notes, which is awesome. But the screenshots, the presentation, I just love having that kind of magnitude of mind power in a sitting, and you want so much more. You want to milk it for all it's worth, but you also want to get Alberta out there too. And I did do that, at least in 2 narratives. I wanted to go further with the Supreme Court problems I see with the United States and Canada. It's going to have to be saved for another forum. Hopefully there's another one coming up in a couple months with this same caliber of expert governmental people and super high academics. I hope I'm invited back and I get my chance. I think they were impressed with me for a guy who's definitely not a lawyer, definitely not a Supreme Court justice, but I had a political life and I did do some pretty cool stuff, and I think they all appreciated that. So I had that opportunity. I got it out there. I even got to lead a group. So excellent. Now, we're going to get on to the Angus Reid forum that I did here, and that one was a poll that's, you know what, everybody, it's coming out in Canada. I guarantee you it's the Liberal Party. They basically run a poll. If you haven't taken it, or if you're able to get on that and take it, take it. I answered globalist reset on every single narrative they presented. I know it's by both conservative and liberals. They're running two ads that they're going to try and target you, the average Canadian, with on COVID-19. I feel it's a real fear propaganda. I don't see the data yet. I know there's champions fighting back. I don't know how far they're going to get in their narratives. I put in my answers global reset. I didn't answer any of the narratives to the way they're trying to push you in the poll. Another part of the poll that's really bad is when they start asking like where you are, they never give the polling statistic of are you unemployed because of COVID-19, which is me and a heck of a lot of Canadians right now. You're not to be statistically analyzed. And I'm a graduate of statistics. It's a part of my education. When I went through business school, I took statistics, and you learn how statistic works, especially in marketing, especially in many, many business terms and senses. So when they don't run the statistics, a very important stat is how many people are unemployed because of COVID-19. They don't do that in their poll question. They put in there, where do you fall? And they don't give you an option of none of the above. They give you an option of unemployed going to school, or that's as best as it gets. Well, I'm not unemployed because I'm going to school. I can't go to school because I'm in a consumer debt proposal. I have to find employment or remain unemployed regardless. There's no me running off to school. So that stat, along with a lot of you, is removed. Like if you're a business owner and you're unemployed, you're not going to be statistically recorded. This is a poll clearly done by the two ads that they're proposing. They're going to go out in mass. One is an Indigenous girl missing, and it's like an ad of a missing persons. And then they run it like a COVID ad. It is that silly, and about wearing masks and distancing and all these things that you're supposed to take upon yourself and educate to your family, and this ad's going to do it. The other one is a really conservative ad. Again, it goes into business and losing your business, but like I say, nothing in the ad runs the statistic of how you were impacted. It's all about being that hero small business person that's going to shut down because you know it's the right thing to do. If you haven't done this Angus Reid poll, find it, go do it. It was sent to me, I did it, and I'm glad I did because you have a portion where you answer, and I answered with globalist reset. None of the above, the narratives they're sharing in the ad. What does it bring to me? To me, globalist reset. That's how I answered it. I answered how upset I was, absolutely disgusted with all the terms, and they give you that basically as options to answer, and I do, and I give a follow-up on both ads, both the conservative and liberal narrative that the governments are trying to sell to you, both provincially and federally. You can clearly see this is what they're doing, and I'll tell you, everybody, it's disgusting where our world's going, especially here in Canada, where we're going with our provinces. Liberal, conservative, NDP alike, mainstream parties are all on board with this. And you know what? Watch out for the massive bombs, the massive bullshit bombs. I hate to say that. We have it from the right, we have it from the left. Ultimately, it is what destroyed Donald Trump. I don't take back any of my videos. Those of you, my loyal followers, it's okay, the Republicans, if you look, chiming in on my video, and there's lots coming forward, hundreds of comments running me down. It's okay. I went through it election night when I had that big rumble outside, when those two guys tried to jump me there with Brenda and Dennis, and you know what? I had all the hundreds of trolls then. I'm going to get them all now from the Republicans, but you know what? At least even with the Republicans, it's a very small minority. It's not even going insane. And so you all know, I was just invited to another Trump group from the States. So obviously, the Trump administration ain't blocking me and deleting me. They're taking it as they want to take it. I followed Donald Trump for 8 years. I just give the truth as I know it and see it. I'm in these groups. I'm in these forums. I keep growing. I keep getting further and further ahead from my narrative for Alberta. And really, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Giving the truth to all of you, whether that's popular or not. I don't care where I'm going to go politically. Obviously, I don't. Or a lot of the things I've done just since the 2019 election, you can look and say, geez, that guy has lost his electability. And I'm okay with that because I am all about the truth. I'm all about all of you, and I'm going to keep doing those narratives. And you'll see my popularity goes up, it goes down, then it goes really up. And sometimes I go viral, and that will come, it will go, and it's just the way it is. But at least I can look in the mirror. I've always, my whole life, one thing I've been able to do is go in that mirror, look at myself, and at least, if anything, at least I can be proud of who the man I am. I can look at my daughters and I can say to them, I've done everything I can to make your life better. I've done everything possibly capable of doing. And you know, for all of you who've joined that email list as we continue to roll that out, and yes, I'm a day late on Bill 32 and finishing up with the unions, but it's okay. We're going to get it done. I have lots on my plate, a lot more than I want. I always finish these things, these forums, with way more work than what I started with, but it's okay. I know I made a dent in that world today, and you know what? I think I'm going to be in Ottawa, and I'm going to be in the University of Ottawa, going against that Amir Attaran. Well, it looks like some of his co-workers find me just fine, and I think I'm going to get on that stage too. So pretty cool day today. And, you know, everybody don't lose heart. I know a lot of people following me. You have to give people hope. You know what? By working through all these issues and realities, you get there. I have tremendous hope after today's forum. At least we know the path forward we have to go with. And it's better to know than stand in that line of inconvenient, you know, make you happy lies. No, thank you. I'm never going to stand in that line. I'd rather stand in the line that tells the truth, rolls it out for everybody, even though many don't want to hear it, because it's better to be in that line and let people come back to you than be the guy who told the lies and people never trust you. And that's what I do, everybody. So that's my last video for today. I'm going to continue on with Callie and Amber, and that's at 4 o'clock here, so I have to have that phone conference, build our interview, and give that all to you. There is a lot of hope coming. It will come. It will get better, everybody. Thanks. Have a great day.